Philadelphia, National Guard Armory, November 17th. Extreme Rising is coming back to town. We have a special guest here tonight to talk about that, to talk about a bunch of stuff. He's taking the indie scene by force. Our buddy Matt Hardy, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How are you guys?
I can't complain. Listen, man, last time we had you on, we were talking about the first Extreme Rising, and we were talking about how you're going on this tour, going through the indies and, like, kind of finding your roots and everything. And since then, you've gone to Ring of Honor. I see you're fighting Sami Callihan now. You got Extreme Rising, man. You're taking the indie scene by force. How is it? You feel like you're getting back to your roots like this?
Yeah, actually, a lot of the things I've been doing, considering I haven't been working for a big corporate, a big corporate empire like a WWE or anything else. I've just really rediscovered my passion and love for the business, and it makes me remember why I got in this whole crazy business of professional wrestling in the first place. To have fun and do what I love, follow my dreams, and entertain people. And I've thoroughly been enjoying it, and I've been doing some really cool stuff and making some cool stops on the way. As you said, Extreme Rising, they have another event coming up November 17th. Just recently stopped by the Ring of Honor pay-per-view last Saturday, and it looks like down the road I'll be doing some more stuff with those guys. But I'm having a really good time. And this Saturday, as you mentioned, I have a huge match with Sami Callihan, first time ever, and that's going to be at a show Hulk Hogan is doing, and there's going to be 3,000 or 4,000 people there, so it's going to be pretty massive. Yeah,
listen, Sami Callihan, Adam Cole, these guys we love, man. We've had Adam Cole on here a bunch of times. Let's start right there with this. I did Ring of Honor Saturday. It looked like you're going to go with Adam Cole possibly in a feud. What do you think of Adam Cole as an opponent and as a possible opponent and as a wrestler?
I think Adam Cole's a really talented guy. I think he's an amazing athlete. I actually was first introduced to Adam Cole at the Shane Shamrock Cup for Maryland Championship Wrestling. If you're familiar with that. They have a tournament in honor of one of their wrestlers that was at their school that was actually shot, and this guy actually, Adam Cole actually won the Shane Shamrock tournament. But I was there that day actually working on the show. I used to work there actually pre-WWE days, and so many people, came up to me and said, "Oh, check out this guy Adam Cole. He reminds us a lot of a young Matt Hardy, and he's got a good mind for the business. He's very passionate. He loves what he does." And I heard those comparisons, and it carried over a little bit to Ring of Honor. And whenever I actually spoke with him, I see why people do compare him, but still, he's light years away from doing the things I've done and having the experience level I've had. So I think that would kind of be that would be the basis of our match if one materializes in the future.
Mike Chiari?
Oh, yeah. Matt, transitioning back to Extreme Rising, the last time we had you on the show, you weren't exactly sure how the ECW faithful was going to receive you on June 29th and June 30th in New York and Philly because, you weren't an original ECW guy. You were kind of a WWE guy, won the ECW championship there. But now that you've had a chance to break them in, the fans in, what type of reaction are you anticipating on November 17th in Philadelphia?
I anticipate some of the same to say. Those people that when they become diehard fans of their their cult favorites, whoever it may be, if it's someone who's a longtime ECW fan and they're fully supportive of all the ECW originals, even looking at Ring of Honor, same with them. The Ring of Honor fans that are diehard cult Ring of Honor fans are going to go for their favorites before they would a WWE guy like me. And let's face it, I'll be a WWE guy and I'll be stamped that for the remainder of my career. That's not really going to change because that's where I really came to be and that's where I became a star in WWE. But working with Extreme Rising, I think they were appreciative of the hard work and the effort I gave them. And it's one of those things I don't expect to win these people over, in one sitting, to say the least. I like going out. I like working hard. I like getting a mixed reaction. I like people that are just against me because I am a WWE guy and I'm competing, on Extreme Rising territory. So as long as the people are entertained and they're emotionally involved in the match, whether it's good or bad, I really don't care. I just want them to to be emotionally interactive.
Training, Gavin?
Yeah, Matt. With being one of the biggest stars in the business, going to a place like Extreme Rising and then Ring of Honor, the guys in the back, you just touched on the fans. What about the guys in the back? How do they take you in, and what type of pressure do you feel to perform, not just for the fans, but for your peers backstage?
Most guys in the back are really cool, really likable. Most people that you'll find that have succeeded in the wrestling business are pretty humble, because it's not something that's easy to do, regardless on what level you're at. Whether you're like a standout indie guy or someone who works in a territory, so to say, how maybe I'd call those promotions territories. If someone gets a spot somewhere, they end up feeling pretty honored because they probably busted their ass to get there. So, everyone is pretty cool, and I haven't had any bad interactions so far, knock on wood. As far as being pressured to perform for those guys, that's something I kind of gave up, especially over the course of the last couple of years, because I just realized, I have to stop worrying about what other people think, and I fully accept that some people are going to like me, some people are going to dislike me, and that's fine. All I have to do is go out and do the best I can, because when it's all said and done, right now, Matt Hardy isn't racing with anyone else. I'm not competing against my brother, Jeff Hardy. I'm not competing against any other person in any other promotion. I'm competing against myself. And the race is long, but when it's all said and done, I'm only competing against myself. So I just want to be a better person. I want to give a better performance, and I want to be smart and try and stay healthy as possible. So the pressure to perform for those people really isn't there. I put the pressure on myself, and that way I kind of make it self-contained. And I just think I'm a lot happier and healthier that way.
Michael?
Yeah, Matt, you spoke about this time around you've sort of rediscovered your passion. What about this go-around has been so rewarding for you versus where you've been, in the past few years?
Almost like carrying over from what I was just saying in that last, in that last little statement I made. It was just the lack of pressure or the lack of stress, especially combined with physical abuse to my body. I mean, those are the things that really take their toll, and those are really like unseen factors and unknown factors by a lot of people who just are fans of the product or watch the product or keep up with the product. I mean, when you're working for a WWE or even for a TNA, because they're trying to add a much more grueling schedule now, between the pressures of trying to meet, the company requirements and still stay in shape and try and eat right, and then you're wrestling 4 times a week and trying to stay in one piece and always having that crucial pressure on you to always perform or always be on or always be 100%, when sometimes it's physically impossible, considering lack of sleep or an injury you've suffered. And then there's a certain way you act, and a certain way you have to be controlled as far as it relates to the company and their policies, even from like a television standpoint or a storyline or character aspect. And I realized too, like, I am a lot happier being able to have a lot of control of what I do. Like, if I do a vignette about an event that's coming up, whoever it may be, against or with, on my YouTube channel, I have 100% complete creative control. And that's nice to have. And I know there's not going to be a backlash from it, because once you sign away your life and you're under contract with someone, then they always ultimately call the shots. And it takes away a lot of that creative freedom, and that's what's really rewarding to me more than anything else. So it's really fun now to be able to do whatever I want and be able to, write my own story, so to say, and not have to worry about the pressure of someone else not liking what I do or objecting to what I do or getting in trouble for what I do. And plus, it's a lot nicer also to travel with flip-flops on as opposed to three-piece suit.
Mike Chioi?
Oh yeah, Matt. Bouncing off the point about the later schedule in terms of Ring of Honor or Extreme Rising, you worked for WWE for a very long time. Like you said before, you're always going to be considered a WWE guy. So I mean, 37 years old, not old by any means, but obviously you probably have less time in the business than you've already put in left. So I was just wondering if you would ever think about going back to a WWE or a TNA and taking on that tough schedule again, or if you're kind of resigned to doing the later scheduling for the rest of your career.
I think for my health and happiness, I prefer that lighter schedule. I would be intimidated to do that heavier schedule now. If something would work out in a perfect scenario with one of those, places on a lighter schedule, no, I could see that being a possibility. But I just appreciate how far I've come along, not only evolving myself as a wrestler, but evolving myself as a human being. And I really, truly, evolved is the word I feel like I can use to describe me now more than any other time. And just the way I appreciate, being healthy, happy, and just life in general. I love wrestling, and it's in my blood. It always will be. you know, and I'll be associated with it in some way, shape, or form. There's some other things I want to branch out into and do as time goes on. But as far as contributing to the business, I always want to go back. And even when I can't contribute in ring, I think there'll be other areas of the business where I can contribute and help others and get back to it.
PJ?
Yeah, Matt, you know, when you were coming up, you were a guy that everyone looked to push the envelope, push the limit. You were a pioneer in the ring. And now going to places like Ring of Honor and Extreme Rise, a lot of young guys who are now pushing the limit. What do you do to evolve your in-ring style and reinvent yourself in the ring?
I think my thing is, especially now, as you get beat up and your body does get damaged as you get older, obviously, and age obviously takes an effect, you just have to modify your style. I mean, like, you know, obviously, you know, with UFC and MMA, striking and submissions and holds are definitely a lot more believable, and they're acceptable, and they're also over in many ways in the business. And I just think I have to continue to modify myself from being a guy that was known as like an extreme wrestling aerial guy into someone who is more of an extreme wrestling submissions or ground guy. I have to do things that, you know, really cater to keep me healthy now, and also like expand the longevity of my career as much as possible.